My introduction to design started a long time ago. Like most kids, I did a lot of illustration when I was growing up, and eventually I found a way for that art experience to intersect with industrial design. When I was a senior in high school, I, for some reason, decided to go out and buy a industrial sewing machine, and I bought a gigantic Singer sewing machine with a walking foot. And I started to make harnesses and board bags and seat covers and things like that. And I was churning these things out of my bedroom at the time. And you know, it was to help support my windsurfing habit. Right about the same time, I also built myself a shaping room, and I started to shape surfboards and windsurfers. And at the time, the windsurfers were pretty big. They were like, you know, 10, 11, 12-foot boards. And so I was, you know, buying these huge chunks of foam and mowing them down and doing the entire process of, you know, shaping, glassing, and doing art on the boards as well. So that was a way for me to sort of wet my feet in the art of building products for the sports that we do. I think where the process of building a product transcends itself into being a craft is probably with the introduction of a couple of things. One of them is the introduction of art, and the other one is the introduction of the person's personal passion for building that product. And that's when it goes from simply connecting a few random objects together to really putting your heart and soul into it. And again, I think that really comes from when somebody's really passionate about building these things. They take on a different attitude towards the whole process, and they turn it into more of a craft. The group that we have building our kites in our factory and in our design lab have actually been building these kites since the very beginning. Even prior to this sport of kite surfing, the same factory and a lot of the same employees had actually been building paragliders. And in a similar way to kite surfing, I mean, these are serious products. I mean, these are products that people are throwing themselves off of giant mountains and hoping these things fly properly and are built, you know, to last and built safely. So when we came into it with Cabrinha, we just walked right in to this group of people who had building these kites for a while already. Adding to that, the people at our factory actually built some of the very first inflatable kites, so they have the most experience in this type of construction as well. In fact, our factory was building the very first Whippica kites, so they had a lot of experience in you know, bladders and the sewing construction. So I would say that our factory has the most experience in the world at building these type of kites. The type of kites that we make and use for kiteboarding and kite surfing, they're really dynamic. I mean, there's so many variables that come into play in the design and the building of these products. They're kind of this living, breathing thing. I mean, there's stretch involved, there's inflation properties involved in the design, and you need someone who has the ability to understand all these moving factors and apply their rules of compensation and whatnot into the design, knowing what the outcome is going to be. And a lot of that just comes from experience, you know, just you know, building a lot of really bad kites to make some very good kites, and learning from that process so that every kite therefore after is going to be what you want it to be. And so the process isn't super cut and dry. It's not like you design this product and push a button and out pops this kite. It's, like I said, it's this living, breathing thing, and there's so much going on that you have to have someone who really understands all these things. And our designers, Pat Goodman, is a legend in that regard, and he's able to really understand and build the kites exactly how he wants in the computer to turn out in production.
I've been a kite designer for about 12 years now. I started with Cabrinha just shortly after Pete started the brand. The interesting thing about mass production of any, well, actually let's just say kites in comparison to windsurfing sails, and there are some similarities, but the main thing is that 80% of the process is done by human beings as if you were doing them one at a time. There's very few steps in the process that are automated. You know, we have a very few amount of computer-driven sewing applications. Of course, in the cutting process, you know, it's all computerized. But when it comes to making the kites, it really is done by people, and these people are skilled. Most of them, but a huge percentage of them have been there since the very beginning. Our kite production manager actually came from another factory that worked with Bruno Legino from the very first inflatable kites. So the skill knowledge of in the assembly area is just very, very technical and very. These people they're craftsmen. You know, they really are. They know what they're doing. They know what it's supposed to look like, and they strive for perfection just like we do when we do the design. You know.
When we design products at Cabrinha, we stick by this one motto, and that's innovation that matters. And what we mean by that is, you know, it's easy to get caught up in some things that technology provides to you, such as, you know, if Pat's getting all excited about what his software will do for him as far as a seaming or something like that, I always ask him, well, okay, how does that translate to the end user? Because in the end, that's what it's all about. How is that going to affect the user experience? And so we try to use technology in a way to make the user experience much better. And this is what it's all about for us. One of the things that I always try to impress on my staff is that we're not making hospital equipment. You know, we're making products to go out there and have fun with. We're making products that people use and appreciate more than the product itself. It's what the product does for them, what it does for their life, for their enjoyment, you know, for their social, for everything. So there's a lot of human interaction in this product that we make, and you know, there's a lot of like form factors involved that play into that appreciation of this product. You know, when you grab onto our control bar, for example, the first thing you're going to feel is like, wow, this thing is really ergonomic. It's made to fit the way my body works. The design, the development, the delivery of these kites is not a solo pursuit in any way. It's not like we have a designer and he runs off in a little room and designs and develops and shows up with a kite. It really takes an army to bring even one of our designs to the market. We have a lot of really talented people at Cabrinha, starting with the designer and ending with the people in the factory that have been with us for many, many years. And everything in between, which are engineers and testers and team riders, and everybody's got to work in concert to make these visions happen, make these products happen. So it really takes an army of really talented people. And the one thing that I think everybody has in common in this scenario is passion and commitment. And I think those two things really define the craftsmen and craftswomen that are making our product today.